Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer 3029-4-632 4-inch double acting spring hinge in a polished brass finish. The Bommer 3029 means inherently that it is a double acting spring hinge. The -4 means that it is 4-inch. It's true that the height of the hinge leaf is 4-inch, but the real important aspect to know about that is 4-inch is a reference to the range of door thickness that you can use this on. A 4-inch, a 3029-4, is for a door from 7/8 to 1¼ inch thick. And that's really important. That's what this hinge is made for. And it's double acting. You've got your frame leaf here, and this portion just attaches to the frame through these screws. Okay. The frame is back here. The door sits into this pocketed area here. And you attach this part to the door. It can be mortised or surface mounted. It's intended to be mortised. The 632 means it's in the polished brass finish. This is a steel base hinge and a polished brass finish. It's available in about 10 colors on the website. There are links below this video to the template and the installation instructions. But let's first go over the usage in terms of door weight and size. You're dealing with up to, like 6'8" tall doors because you're dealing with skinnier doors. If you've got 2 spring hinges, you're going to be dealing with about a 60-pound door up to 2 foot 4 inches wide. And if you've got a 75-pound door that's up to 3 feet wide, you'd have 3 spring hinges. So now, at this point, refer you to the installation instructions. And the installation instructions show you how this hinge is laid out in relationship to the door and frame. You can see at the top of that page which leaf goes where. And it's a little hard to see how that all works when you're looking at it this way, but when you get that kind of in your hands, you can see it. That's the frame leaf, and that's the door leaf if your door is down here. Okay? Very important to note that if you've got 3 spring hinges on your door, that 2 are to be placed at the top per the installation instructions, because the majority of all the work done on a door swinging is that very top hinge. And because this is a spring, and if your installation requires 3 spring hinges, you don't want it to be a case where the weight of the door actually makes it sag into the opening by stressing the springs. So Bommer says put 2 at the top, and then put your 3rd hinge down at the bottom, which is really just a stabilizing hinge. Does include all wood screws and a complementary finish. Okay. Now, setting the tension on this is very easy. There's an arrow that says you take the included tension rod and insert it into one of the holes and rotate it in the direction of that arrow. That's how you set the tension. Then into those new holes that you reveal, you're going to insert a tension pin. There's 2 tension pins here because these double acting spring hinges require 2 tension pins. So you'll set it over here on the frame side, and you do the same over on the door side. Same situation with the direction of arrow. It's clockwise when the tension collars, which are these collars with the holes in them, are pointed up. Completely non-handed, completely reversible. They can work on left-hand doors. They can work on right-hand doors. Doesn't really matter. So now you've got your idea of where to locate the hinges. You know how to set the tension. However, the first thing that usually comes into play is, and this is where you'll want to refer to the link called template, is how wide the door, the net size of the door, the net width of the door needs to be based on these hinges. Or what your inside frame opening needs to be based on using these hinges. There's a chart there that shows a single door installation and a double door installation. You're going to be able to determine one of the two required measurements. You'll know either the inside frame opening or you're going to know the door opening. Let's assume that your frame is already set. Your frame opening is already done. If your frame's not in yet, you got to build your frame. Take your rough opening, build your frame, whatever it's going to be. Then you've got your inside frame opening. From that point, you'll be able to determine exactly how wide the door needs to be based on this chart for a single door and a double door. So for a single door, you've got your frame opening. Let's just say it's 36 inches for the sake of this explanation. 36-inch frame opening. You know that dimension A for the door flange, either mortised or not mortised, is a specific size. You've got either 0.47 inch, just less than half of an inch, or 0.379, just over 3/8, depending on whether this flange is mortised or not. So you'll take your frame opening, you'll deduct the required allotment for the amount of room this hinge is going to take, okay? And that's going to be the net size of the door. Conversely, if you know the net size of the door, take that, add what you've got to allow for the hinge, the A dimension, and that's your frame opening. So you're good to go with that. The same logic applies for a double door, a pair of doors. You've got a B dimension. It's either basically 0.94, basically 15/16, or 0.785, which is about, 3/4 inch, just over 3/4 inch. And it's at that point where you'll be able to determine how wide your doors need to be. And quite frankly, it's just that simple. If your doors are radiused, like you'd have radiused styles, that margin between the edge of the door and the lock jamb, or the opposite hinge jamb, or the margin between the doors can be a little bit tighter, but otherwise those are the dimensions that you're working with. And that logic applies whether you're dealing with a 4-inch or a 5-inch or a 6-inch or a 3-inch double acting spring hinge by Bommer. Very good quality products. People end up, once they use Bommer, they come to prefer their quality. And one thing I like a lot about them is, I'll show you their logo there on their hinge. You can see it says Bommer, and right above it, it says Made in USA. The fact that I'm proud of, certainly, as is Bommer, and I'm proud to represent them, American-made hinge. If you have any questions on the Bommer 632, that's polish press, double acting spring hinge, or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.